Pretty close. Off Sunset, off the Anthony with the both issue.
I have a mailing address.
Most of my family still lives there. I'm surprised at how it is.
Yeah.
Like there's one of these stories that looks
Calling to order the council meeting of January 13th, 2026, our first meeting of this new year. I welcome council back to the table. A particular special welcome to our new members who, this is your very first meeting, so welcome to the council. I welcome all of our audience members. Thank you for being here tonight. We have members of our safety forces with us tonight, and all our directors and chiefs. I wish you all a happy new year, and I'm glad you're with us tonight. We're going to do a few things tonight, just so it's a long agenda, as any of you have observed from when we came in the door in a moment.
Okay.
And so after we call to order, we are going to promptly adjourn, and we will leave. You can stay here and try to be comfortable in those wonderful chairs. And we have to take care of some business before we can move through some of the items on the agenda. So thank you for your patience with that. And with that, I will call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Ms. Swords? Here. Mr. Schmidt?
Here.
Mr. Modi?
Here.
Ms. Godin? Here. Mr. LeMay?
Here.
Mr. Gentili?
Here.
Colonel Rice?
Here.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would now entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of preparing for conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment, and for discussing the appointment and compensation of city employees. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Swords?
You have to vote yes or no.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Modi?
Yes.
Ms. Godin? Yes. Mr. LeMay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentili?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
All right. With that, we are adjourned temporarily. This may take some time, maybe upwards to a half hour, depending. So please be patient and thank you.
some of this. Take up the whole day, we're done. We're on.
We're good? Okay. We are reconvening the city council meeting, having adjourned from the executive session. Thank you to the audience and the various directors for their patience while we discussed matters. The first agenda item following number reconvening the meeting is consideration of ordinance 2026-01, which is an ordinance authorizing the entering into an agreement with the ASME Local 1097 bargaining unit and declaring an emergency. It's on for first reading tonight. You've had an opportunity, council, to have reviewed this in executive session. I'd like first to move to a motion to suspend.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Modi?
Yes.
Ms. Godick? Yes. Mr. Lemay?
Yeah.
Mr. Gentile?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yep.
All right, and next, we'd entertain a motion for the adoption of ordinance 2026-01.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Before we take the vote, I want to extend the appreciation of the city to the members of the bargaining unit for their productive engagement in the negotiation and reaching a conclusion with the city, which I think is both excellent for members of our service department as well as for the city and the residents of Pepper Pike. So that being said, you have a second, right?
Yep.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Modi?
Yes.
Ms. Godick? Yes. Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentile?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
All right, it is, it's adopted and we will proceed to execute it. I want to extend not only my thanks to the members of the local who engaged with us, but I want to thank our acting Director of Human Resources, Wilson Fisco, and our Treasurer, Finance Director, Peter Reckentor, for their excellent work and engagement on this issue. So thank you to both of you very much. And we'll move on at that point. Thank you. Melissa, you are welcome to stay, or you may, not. It's up to you.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is ordinance 2025-25. This is on for third reading tonight. This is the ordinance confirming the reappointment of Mr. Sheedy and Chagrin Valley Engineering as the city engineer. This has been circulated previously, and I'm very thankful that our new members of council engaged even prior to their being sworn in, so that they were put on distribution lists, so that they had the opportunity of seeing these materials before tonight, and that they were able to, in many instances, as their schedules allow, to actually attend the meetings either in person or online and see the discussion of the 2025 council regarding the contract. So that being said, are there any other questions, or we will look for a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Not hearing any, roll call, please.
Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Modi?
Yes.
Ms. Godick? Yes. Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentile?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
All right, next we move on to ordinance 2026-02, dealing with the confirmation of the appointment of, continued appointment of Mr. Byron as law director, and entering an agreement with him and Singerman Mills, Desberg, and Contz, co-LPA, The any motion that we make would be for the adoption of the ordinance, and the contract itself will be subject to some minor revisions that we've gone over, and I'll make sure that those get incorporated into it. So what we would need here first is a motion to suspend.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Swords?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bodie?
Yes.
Ms. Godin?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentili?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
And next, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Swords?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bodie?
Yes.
Ms. Godin?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
No.
Mr. Gentili?
No.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
All right, the ordinance is passed. Next, we move on to the, we look for a motion to allow the service director to sell a 2007 International 4300 truck with a Wayne Mini Packer body, as well as a 2020 Ford Explorer from the police department, and two well-used 2018 Kubotas. Mr. Advent,
Thank you,
can
Mayor.
you take us through this?
This mini packer truck is like the last holdover from days gone by when we used to use mini packers and not Kubotas, but this has gotten where we only used it once a year, and that was normally during Thanksgiving to help us out because we're picking up those 2 routes in one day. But the truck, every time we needed it, we had to put money into it. It just doesn't make any sense for one time a year to dump money into a vehicle. So that truck is, and there's no replacement plan for that truck. The police vehicle, that 2020 car is 81,000 miles on it. It is already been replaced. That one is back, and its replacement is in service already. The 2 Kubotas, one of them has 7,500 hours, the other one has 6,000 hours. The 7,500 hour one translates to 47,000 miles on those little machines is amazing. So the one of them is already here, its replacement, and we have the other one replacement in the budget for sometime this year. We don't need it right away. We're probably gonna wait until early summer.
All right, thank you, Mr. Advent. We have a motion allowing the disposal of these vehicles, please.
Doing gov deals or are we? Yeah, gov
Yeah,
deals.
we can have discussion.
Good, yeah, okay. You need a motion first.
I just want a motion and then we'll have a discussion.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? Mr. Gentili?
I just had one item, and I think we maybe talked about this before, but I don't think we should limit ourselves to gov deals. We should try to do the best deal we can get.
Is there an alternative from gov deals that you found?
None that we've ever used.
Can you just sell them on the open market?
It goes at, gov deals is an auction site, so it's the fairest way to get.
How much do they charge us?
There's a small fee, depends on what it is, as to what the charge is. Sometimes, I think the highest it's been is like $600.
I think it's fine to use gov deals. I just don't think in the motion that we should limit ourselves to gov deals. If there's some better
If there's
way
something
out
there.
there, then we.
Okay,
we should be able to
I don't,
manage. Last
I
time-
don't object to the removal from the motion of the phrase gov deals.
On gov deals.
And Mr. Advent, with the authority to sell, will evaluate what the best mechanism for him to sell.
So I just had some experience with this. When I was city manager in Utah, we had a gov deal thing with the state. We kind of went through and we got the least money from them.
Mhm.
We just would actually put some balloons out front and put for
Except
sale
it's
sign
really-
on them and sold them for cash. And
Except
What was the spread
That was
between?
about a 20% difference.
Really?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, but
So,
except that
I'm like,
time
these
is
sort of
money, and if it's the most expeditious way for him to
yeah,
get rid of
no,
the
I'm not,
vehicle,
I'm just saying, there's other
let him
ways.
exercise that
I
judgment.
think you can get comfortable with a vendor and not do the best.
And one thing that we did do in the last couple of years, we did sell 2 police cars back to the dealership. And where we're averaging $6,000 on police cars when we sell them through gov deals, I think the top we got was 4,500 out of the dealership
As an offer for,
as an offer.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago, I believe, that we did that.
I wonder if it varies by type of equipment.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, a little bit.
Some gov deals is great, others,
Yeah.
for other types of equipment.
Yeah, I mean, the Kubotas is amazing what we get out of it.
My understanding of the economics of a car dealership is that they make a lot of their money on used cars.
I mean, you just need to move them, right? That's the goal.
Pardon
You just need to sell
Gotta
them.
get rid of those.
That's the goal, right?
They're
It's not about
surplus
maximizing
vehicles.
money.
Yeah.
Okay.
One question on the Ford Explorer, I can't remember. 2020 is not that old. What's the reason for that one?
The mileage is up.
Mileage.
Yeah, and I mean, it has mechanical issues that,
Okay,
like, these things start getting around 80,000 miles.
that's it, huh?
Yeah, that's
So-
the time.
You know, what happens with the police cars is that it's not only mileage, they have engine hours that are very significant in order to keep the electronics operating so that they can leave and not have to reboot all their electronics, the computers and things. The engines are left idling, and it puts on a very significant number of engine hours, which are an equivalent to additional mileage. And speaking with our mechanic, it's probably, it takes quite a toll on these engines. We've had to replace engines in cars. It's a lot. So it's not simply about mileage.
So, hey, how many
You
cop
do
cars
a
do
lot
we have?
better. Do a lot better when you
How
sell
many
them under
cars do you have?
100,000 miles.
6?
Yeah, with a few extra, like.
You do a lot better if you sell them under
Six after
100,000.
Discussion for another day, just another way to look at this, kind of figure out years and his transition to take-home vehicles. In other words, each cop gets a car, it costs us more in the front end, but they last a lot longer because guys have their own car, they take care of it a little bit better, and the mileage goes way down. So it's not the discussion for tonight, it's just for long-term.
How does the mileage go down?
The mileage goes down because it only goes out when a cop goes out. He has his own car to take home. Every cop gets a car.
Yeah.
And now they rotate 6 cars amongst all 19 that are out on the road.
But don't they have to leave it idling while it's,
No, I'm not talking, no, they would take it home and they park it and then they bring it to work.
but I'm saying the patrol hours would be the same.
No, they wouldn't. Not yearly for a car, they wouldn't.
All right, well,
Yeah,
another.
that's what I said, it's a
another
discussion for another day. It's just
Okay. All right.
another way to look at police cars. Yeah.
Let's deal with the motion in front of us right now. Can Mr. Advent sell these things in the best way that he can? Roll call, please.
Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bodie?
Yes.
Ms. Godin?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentili? Colonel Rice?
Yes.
Go sell them, Jim.
It's gone.
Next, we look for a motion to confirm a director of public safety. I've served in that role before. I continue to. Is there any sort of motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Swords? Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bodie?
Yes.
Ms. Godin?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentili?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
All right, and now I'd be looking for a motion for the nomination of someone to serve as vice mayor over the next year.
I would move.
Colonel Rice?
I would second.
All right, are there any other motions from the floor on this? Hearing none, any discussion or roll call? Move to the roll call.
Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bodie?
Yes.
Ms. Godek?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentle?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
All right, next, we'd entertain a motion to elect a member of council to the City Planning Commission, and we open the floor to any nominations.
I nominate Jackie Godek to sit on the planning commission as member of council.
Second.
Okay, are there other nominations to be heard? Not hearing any, roll call, please.
Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bodie?
Yes.
Ms. Godek?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentle?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
Okay. Next, we go to the various committees. We ran out of space on this page, so they're not individually listed. I'm going to try to remember them all and not make a mistake. First, we need to appoint the Finance Committee. First, is there a,
So I move that Mr. Lemay, Ms. Godek, and Mr. Schmidt be on the finance committee with Mr. Schmidt as the chair.
okay. Is there, you see me having to move on to another thing, that's good. Are there any other nominations for the Finance Committee from the floor?
I would echo that with the change that Mr. Lemay should be the chair.
Okay, is there a second for the Colonel? We'll take them serious. First, both need a second, I guess. Is there a second for Mr. Rice's slate?
I'll second Mr. Rice.
Okay, is there a second for Mr. Gentili's slate? All right, then we'll move on then to a vote for the first slate proposed by Mr. Colonel Rice. Roll call, please.
Ms. Swords?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bodie?
Yes.
Ms. Godek? Yes. Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentle?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
Yeah, I do want to, as we move on from that, want to thank Mr. Lemay for his service these last
14 years.
I said, we're moving into our 15th year, Mr. Lemay, of service on that committee, serving as its chair. So thank you very much, and I recognize the service you put in on that. Next, we'll move to the Infrastructure Committee. Let's follow the same pattern. That seemed to work. Is there a nomination for a slate, I guess, including the chair? I thought that worked out well. Anyone?
How many council members are gonna be on? Two?
It's as many as you choose.
There's no restriction.
I think traditionally we've done up to, I think, 3 members of council on something. And I don't think we've ever had 4.
Two, Jackie, right? Last year, the council members were just you and
That's correct.
we
Yeah.
had
That's what it's
three,
listed on the
three,
website.
three residents.
2 and 3.
So I would move Mr. Rice and Mr. Gentili be on the infrastructure committee.
Okay. Is there a second for that one?
I'd like to make a motion that Mr. Rice and Mr. Schmidt.
Okay. Is there a second for that one?
I'd second that.
Okay.
Is there supposed to be a chair? Like it should be saying who the chair of it is?
Yeah, let's amend that to who's the chair, guys.
It's your motion.
It's your motion.
Oh, Mr. Rice is chair.
Okay.
Colonel Rice is chair, I'm sorry.
I don't want to be insulting you one way or the other. Do you want to be referred to as Colonel Rice or Mr.
Yeah.
Rice or either or both?
Sheila asked me, I said Colonel's great.
Okay.
Mr. Colonel.
I'll
Since
try to
I'm sitting
remember.
in Dr. Wong's former chair. Whatever you want, but
That's the seat that has honorariums.
that's right.
Okay, on Mr. Schmidt's motion then, could we have roll call from them?
Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Modi?
Yes.
Ms. Godit?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentile?
Let's see.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
Okay, do we need to do anything right now, I guess, with resident members, or they can continue to serve until
Yes.
something else happens?
Did they-
Well,
They had a-
let's
they had-
just
they had a
roll that.
term. They had a term, didn't they? Aren't they appointed for a term?
Not.
I don't think on most
not-
No, I
committees,
don't think so.
on those committees, I don't think they have a term. I don't think.
There is no term in the.
For resident
Well,
members?
infrastructure will have
The-
a resident member spot now, right?
We had three, and I got elected, so
So that
now
would
I
be
have,
something
we have
for the
to.
All right,
committee.
so we're
I
gonna
have
need
to pick
another
another-
person on that.
The authority
Another
of committees under the current ordinance lies in council from time to time. Obviously, this is the organizational meeting, so council's making the determination of which members of council will serve on the committees. And then you can either replace, change, or reappoint the resident members once the chairs are in place. That would make sense so that the chairs and the council members can make the decision who they'd like to see and bring it back for discussion with the larger body.
There we go.
Okay.
Communications.
Communications would be the next committee. Nominations from the floor,
And that
please.
was, we also had two people on it previously, two council members,
That had three.
that had three.
So I'll make a motion that Mr. Gentili, Mr. Modi, and Ms. Swords be on the communication committee with Ms. Swords as the chair.
I would second that.
Okay, any other nominations from the floor?
I would, a point of order, I would prefer not to serve on that committee,
You can decline the nomination.
so I decline the nomination.
Jerry Sherman.
There's no involuntary servitude.
That was part of the slate that was just nominated?
So it would be
Okay,
Modi and Swords.
okay. Is anyone else anxious to be on it, or should we vote on that? Okay. Roll call, please.
Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Modi?
Yes.
Ms. Godit?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentile?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
Okay. Next is I'm trying to think,
Parks and Beautification.
Parks and Beautification Committee.
Are we gonna continue having this committee?
That's going to be the council.
Should we do a discussion or a motion?
No,
If you want to discontinue, right now, it's in the ordinance, so it is a committee. If you want to discontinue, one of the things you can do is pass a motion authorizing the law director to amend this. There may be other amendments to the committee structure and approach that you want to deal with, but to deal with this issue, you could make a motion to
I'll make
authorize
that motion.
the law director to delete that committee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a chance for discussion.
yeah, absolutely. Discussion.
I think there's some value in this committee, mostly because it's a chance for resident participation. And as I recall, the residents who were appointed to this are really experts in landscaping and parks, and just, I was very impressed with the quality of their resumes and their experience and expertise in this area. And so, all the ideas for our city don't need to come from this room. And we have three really excited, enthusiastic residents who want to participate in this. Now, having said that, every committee needs to have some support from the administration as well. You know, the finance committee depends on Peter, and the road infrastructure depends on Jim and Don. And so obviously, if there's no support on council to make this a really functioning committee, then there's no sense in doing this. But those residents were just really excited about doing this. And I think it would be a shame to have 3 residents who want to volunteer for the city, do some good work, have some ideas. It's all advisory. They don't make any decisions. It all comes to council. But to have someone who have expertise and experience in this and bring ideas to us and thoughts, I think there's value to that from a citizen participation perspective at least. So I would like to continue it and hope it can be a productive, far-reaching, and collaborative committee.
Would you
I want to remind the,
would you be willing to be on the committee?
It's not my area of expertise for
Well,
sure.
so you're advocating for the committee, and are you gonna be, would you be
Well,
willing to be on it?
if no one else wants to serve,
And if you, and back, and the other thing I wonder is, you talked about the alignment with the administration. Does it make sense to restructure that committee so there actually is representation from the city?
it's an idea.
the city is represented by the councilman.
No, but you mean that
The
administration?
The administration.
Oh, okay.
Here,
You
can I
said-
make a
you said
suggestion?
the city.
Let me make a suggestion. Here. Before there was an official committee, years ago, there used to be a committee. It was sort of a mayor advisory committee, and there was a council person on that. Mr. Newell, in fact, was that person for many years. And he remained that. He was sort of the intersection between the administration and council on a lot of these issues. Which is why he carried forward with things like his Phragmites initiative and things like that. He always fulfilled that, even though he wasn't on this committee. And I agree with Mr. Lemay. I think these 2 residents seem, very capable. There are other residents who I think are very capable too, who do a lot so far as contributing ideas. Just let me finish.
Sure.
And one thought I have is, it's also a committee that needs to be somewhat nimble. And I think one thing we experienced last year was that the formalities of public notices in order to have conversations about stuff going on sometimes proved to be a little cumbersome and maybe counterproductive to the way it operated. And I would suggest that perhaps we put it back to an administrative advisory thing that would be reporting back to council about it. When we have things that, require council participation. Not all things that we do obviously involve council participation. But maybe that's another way. And that way these residents can stay engaged and we can benefit by their knowledge. There are other people like there was a gentleman who used to be the head of a large national landscaping service. And
I remember
tree
that,
service. And I know he would probably be very happy to get engaged doing that stuff that he's skilled at. And I think, if I recall, one of the appointed members of the beautification has, not his background particularly, but had that sort of background also. And maybe utilizing their expertise and knowledge that way is a better way of going, maybe.
I just wanted to remind you, Mayor, if you've forgotten, and let the new council members know that this committee was, the genesis of this committee was from residents had requested having such a committee. There were several residents who did, and we started a few years ago. So it wasn't generated by council action, it was generated from residents.
Yeah, in practice, it didn't seem to work out very well.
I was gonna say, do you think that's part of why maybe it struggled to get going? Like it didn't ever have the council representation that it needed?
I'm sorry.
Do you think that's part of why it maybe struggled to get up and running because there was not like a council person that was maybe more involved? I'm just thinking like, if it was resident driven, there's value in that. I think the idea of it is really great, but if we're doing all these other things, I don't want it to just be like pushed to the side again. That's probably like my biggest concern.
Well, I think there were council members who were engaged.
But I mean, there weren't
Nothing
meetings
got
for a
done.
while and the agendas were light, and I just don't want that to happen to it again, because if I were a resident on that committee and you tell me we're gonna be doing all this stuff and then like it's not doing something again, like that's what I wouldn't want. So I just would wanna make sure we have the time to commit to that for what we want it to be.
Yeah.
Well, and I
Why don't
think
we
if
just-
if there's not an obvious fit amongst us for someone who really wants to, sort of spearhead this effort, like I don't want, like Jim, you don't wanna dive in there just because,
There's
just
no
to
one
keep
else
it
in?
going, right?
Yeah.
And but I agree with your point. The residents on that committee are really impressive, and I think they have a lot to give. So, Mayor, I think your suggestion is a great one. So that they
I
can be
mean,
more responsive.
because of administration's engagement on these issues is pretty robust.
Yeah.
We may be able to involve these people a lot more.
What does that look like does it have a chart? I mean, I'm just,
No, it's just,
it's ad hoc or what
it's
is it?
sort of ad hoc, working with,
The mayor's not a public body the way council is, so he can have an advisory committee of people he meets with that are not under the sunshine law, that don't have to have notices and minutes and don't require the same level of governmental upkeep that,
Yeah.
and I'm certain he consults with people all the time on different issues that he trusts in different areas, as,
We
the
do.
chief executives do.
like, sometimes we have, and, Mr. Advent, works with, me and, both our, hired professionals like MKSK, his department works with, residents who have expertise in horticultural matters, to receive advice about plantings of the city, things like that. And I would think would be continued in that spirit as to how that works.
But to Alyssa's point, there were a number of initiatives like taking inventory of our parks or vacant land or places where parks could go, taking inventory of just kind of mega initiatives around looking at the city holistically. So this is great. I think that's a vehicle, and I agree with you. The administration is an impediment. So the administration of a formal committee of council makes it more difficult to get stuff done and the formality required of it. But even in that, it'd be nice to have some kind of
So Jim.
mission or statement that describes what the mayor's advisory committee is going to do.
Yeah, well, we can work on that.
So Jim, to your point on, so the current name is Parks and Beautification. My vision on the Road and Infrastructure Committee is to do road and infrastructure. So infrastructure being all city-owned property, parks, City Hall, bring that under the umbrella and kind of expand the R&I committee to give a different look. So, because I look at parks, they're along the roads, trails, they're an integral part of the infrastructure that parks are.
Maybe this committee needs to be, I never called, for 14 years, I did not refer to it as the beautification committee. I referred to it as the advisory group. I refer to them as the beautification and something I forget the name.
Is it
Just
more or
one
less?
that has- more of an environmental committee, also. And I know I've
Maybe
talked to
like
Mr.
green
Schmidt.
spaces.
Yeah, like green
advisory.
spaces and I
Garden club, something like that.
what do they call it? Beautification and, I forget, and I apologize.
Well, we-
Council.
so we don't
I
have
just- The
to-
name
we
blew out
don't
of my
have
head
to-
just now.
We don't have to firm all this up this evening, right?
We don't have to firm it up,
So
but that sort of idea of a sustainability idea even. Maybe that needs to be part of a mission statement as to what we're thinking about. And, okay, I just want to throw out my thoughts on that, but, and let me tell the public, this is not my comments are not to avoid sunshine or that sort of thing. That is not at all the intent here, is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about simply for some of the practical, you gotta pick out some flowers. Someone's gonna get planted in a circle.
Yeah.
You gotta move on this stuff. You
I
can't
would
have
think for the
one month ahead
residents,
meetings.
I would think for the residents that are involved, they would feel more excited about working more directly with the administration rather than having to go.
Well, I hope so. That'd be great.
Rather than go through the rigmarole of council and and the governance there.
And there's something to be said for that, for nimbleness, as the mayor says, but mostly I want to get more opportunities for people to volunteer and work with the city.
I would love people to volunteer. We have annually things like our garlic mustard pulls and other things. It's frankly, this is a struggle getting people, not only with the expertise to be top dog person
Yeah.
running it, and it's easy to make but who's gonna go get dirty and do this stuff? That's a challenge.
Just wanna,
But the adding a little formality to this in a name and whatnot, it will promote it from a marketing perspective.
I think it's fine. I think it's a good idea.
To get people like, oh, yeah, I heard of that committee, I'd like to serve on that.
All right, so,
I just think I feel like
Mr. Schmidt, would you work with me to put something together on that?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay. That'd be great.
my personal point of view on this,
I'm viewing him as sort of our new Newell.
just want to add my personal point of view is I feel like the service department does a lot of what the charter is for parks and beautification already,
Right.
right? So what avenues of input could benefit? That's the question that should be asked. Right? And I think
Right,
that
the
wasn't
service
answered
department-
well last year.
It was never, and the service department unfortunately was never invited to a single meeting of that committee, which struck me as a little off. The people who actually know these things, when we talk about park benches, service department has a file like this thick of park benches it's researched over the last couple of years. And we'll make this
But
thing,
yeah, but
we'll
in
make
terms
it
of
work.
going forward, there are some models out there for such an advisory group that I think we could look at and come up with some ideas
All right.
and develop
All right.
a really cool citizen organization.
All right, so there's some sort of, I don't even know, what is the motion that, someone made a motion and it got seconded, I don't even know what the motion was.
The motion to delete the committee.
Oh, and that had a second.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna have to do something with this motion that's on the table.
Okay.
Wait, hang on, Steve, what did you suggest?
It would be to delete subsection E from section 220.05 of the codified ordinances, which is the Parks and Beautification Committee.
Okay, is there any more discussion to the motion? And let's get the motion resolved up or
I
down.
have one
This is a
question about
motion.
it.
Yeah.
If we motion to remove it, we still have the door open for this mayor advisory committee, it doesn't impact that?
Yeah, I do that and I do
And
that.
you'd
with
still have
others.
to vote on the ordinance before it would.
Yeah,
Right.
you'll bring legislation next time, Steve, on this, right?
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay. On the pending motion to delete subsection
E.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Swartz?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Modi?
Yes.
Ms. Goded? Yes. Mr. Lovett?
Yes.
Mr. Gentile?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
Okay, do we have more committees?
Not under the code
Okay,
currently.
okay, so we're out of committees. All right, so we'll move on to we have and let me preface what our next issue is with a little explanation. I have been working with the head of our ABI, Hassan Gardezi, as well as our building official, Paul Kowalczyk, as well as in some discussions where we may want to revamp the way our ABR operates to make it a little more efficient and work better for the city and for the residents in particular. We had someone come to a meeting last quarter who actually had her issue get resolved. But if we can maybe tighten up the way that the ABR works, I think it will benefit.
Philosophically, what does that mean? Just broad strokes.
Maybe the way the advisors function and interact with the residents, it's not totally laid out yet, but maybe right now we have the 3 voting members and we have 2 advisors, and the advisors tend to drive a lot of the discussion.
They're the architects, right?
The architects, although we have, so part of this is going to be, I'm getting ahead of my skis here, Mr. Kennedy, because I don't know.
Okay.
There may be a greater, we don't want the people, we made the changes 10 years ago, whenever we made it to the ABR, in order to remove from the voting members architects who do work in the city. That drove them, and we made them advisors and had residents as the members of the board. We now have, over the years, been able to incorporate architects who don't work in the city, but who live in the city, onto the board. And it gives you, I think it can at least inform us, well, do we need as much input from outside advisors as maybe we can craft the board itself? I think getting some advice from another third-party architect is, can be very beneficial. I think, and let me just say, I think the ABR has just done a wonderful job over the years of maintaining the quality and the design of a lot of the housing in Pepper Pike. I think sometimes the interactions have been challenging for some residents, but sometimes the plans presented have been challenging for the ABR. We want to, that's why I don't want to just make proclamations as to how this thing plays out.
Yeah.
But there could be changes that are being considered. I just want council to be aware that that is in the background going on. And with that, I approach the number 12, Mr. Smith, whose term is ending, and I'd like to, I would recommend his reappointment to the board while we determine just what the shape and form. And I've talked to Bob, and he's enthusiastic to remain on the board. And he does a nice job, and the department appreciates him. And I would ask for his confirmation to be reappointed.
Resident member?
He's a resident member.
Have you are there other cities with models for their ABR that you're finding practical?
There are.
Okay.
I just want to add to this topic, right? I think it's a very loaded topic that everyone probably would agree some change is necessary. So how we go about what the change is, I would just want to see, if it's possible, like data behind why the problem is happening. You know what I mean? So if we could look at, for example, the last 1 year, and it shows out of the 5-panel ABR, who's voting which way, and we see a pattern, I think that would be very helpful as we make decisions.
I can see if they can put that sort of data together. Okay. Right now, I would look for a motion to confirm the reappointment.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Swords?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bodie?
Yes.
Ms. Godek?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentili? Colonel Rice?
Yes.
And next we have we're looking for a new treasurer. It seems that the term of Mr. Rankator is abbreviated, that our charter calls for it to be reappointed every 2 years. So I guess it's a jump ball right now. But
I fresh resume, Peter, come on.
So we have to go ahead and reappoint Mr. Brancator to his position tonight. So could we have a motion to confirm?
So moved.
Second. And with that, I want to say that Peter has been a wonderful addition to the team. He's just done yeoman work while he's here, and he works extraordinarily late hours. I'll drop by at 9 o'clock at night and call him, and Peter's still sitting here working. It's extraordinary, and I really appreciate it, Peter.
I will second that.
Thank you for your work.
I will second that sentiment.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Swartz?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Modi?
Yes.
Ms. Godek?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentile?
Yes.
Colonel Rice?
Yes.
We have no committees to hear from tonight. Department heads?
I'd just like to thank the mayor and the council for the continued support in the service department. Guys are be very happy to see that their contract has been approved and ready to move on.
Mr. Engineer, do you want to make the announcement about this? It was your hard work and application, I think, that got it.
Yeah, we did get some additional money from the county. It's not a huge amount of money, but it does help us with our ongoing maintenance of roadways. It's about $140,000.
I received this notice
We
today
just got it today.
from the county.
For
Uh,
pavement maintenance on county
it's a-
routes, and so we're
It's
doing.
not for a project, it's for just general.
Yeah,
It's $143,500.
Right, so it helps with our bottom line and encourages us to continue to keep the roads in nice shape, which we do, but it's nice.
Right.
Awesome, thank you.
140, that's better than a sharp stick in the eye. And it will be for a number of public works projects. So thank you, Don, for your efforts of putting together that application. Anything else, Don? Okay. Chiefs, yes.
Just three small items. In December, a City of Cleveland Water Department worker was working on a water main break in Honey Valley. And at the end of he was in a trench box. The end failed and slurry came in and trapped him in the box. So the technical rescue team was called. Pike responded to technical rescue technicians, and they were able to get the worker out safely within an hour. There was a brilliant idea to get a sewer truck in there, and they used that to remove the slurry from around him. So it was just a job well done by everybody. And we were able to participate in that.
I don't know if council was able to catch any of the news reports about this, but this fella was in a hole 15 feet deep, 12, 15 feet deep.
Oh, my God.
And this was really a life and death situation. So congratulations to the whole team.
Well done.
And it was a real regional effort. I think a fellow from Euclid, I think, was running the technical team.
Yes, the commander of the tech teams from Euclid. And what correlation may that have to Pepper Pike? The last two sewer projects that we had required hundreds of connections that were similar depths. Fire department kept an eye on making sure that the contractors had trench boxes, both those that were paid for by the city, the contractors that work for the city, and then those contractors that also work for the homeowner. So, it doesn't happen that often, but could it happen here? There were, the potential here was great.
That's one of the challenges of that whole Shaker Boulevard project. Don sent me a photograph one afternoon. The guy's standing 20 feet deep in the ground
Oh.
at the bottom of the hole.
25 feet.
25
Who's
feet.
counting?
Who's counting? That's another human body's depth. Okay. So anyway, thank you, Chief, for bringing that up.
Just two more items. We have a lot of training going on this month. We're participating in a firefighter safety and survival practice training. It's with the Heights Hillcrest area. It's at Wiley School in University Heights. Most of this is practicing bailouts. They call it another drill called the Nance drill, where they extract firefighters that fall through the floor. Firefighter maydays, confidence training with SCBA's, entanglement training with SCBA's, rapid intervention crew training with the SCBA PACs, and rapid intervention crew training performing CPR on another firefighter in a hazard zone. Next week, they're going to be doing incident command, hose line deployments, forcible entry, conducting victim searches, then enter search procedures, firefighter maydays, and managing the mayday. On the EMS training side, we just received new air track video laryngoscopes. So a paramedic in Ohio has the ability to perform endotracheal intubation. So these devices are upgraded. It gives us actually a video view of throat and trachea, and we place a tube then into the trachea so that we can breathe for the patient. So these are upgraded devices. They're a little bit expensive, but we're getting everybody certified and trained in those.
Does it tell you where to put the trach in? Or it's just monitor?
Well, it's an internal one, so we can actually see it. So we see the vocal cords.
Yeah.
Tube goes right through the vocal cords.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. Also, in addition to that, we were trained in surgical trach, so great question. We also have the capability now to do that on the outside. So we cut the throat and then place the trachea or the tube into the trachea from the outside. So this is in extreme cases. Maybe the airway is blocked either by food that we can't get out, Heimlich doesn't work. Sometimes it could be anaphylaxis where it swells up and we can't get a tube in through the mouth. So we have to cut the trachea. So we're all trained and certified in that now. Also in our training this month with our medical director, we're going to be trained to perform surgical finger thoracotomies. So currently, if we have somebody with a collapsed chest, a lot of times this or collapsed lung, in many cases, today we use a needle to do that. There's a lot of evidence that supports that there's a new method where we cut it. So it's a surgical entry into the chest, and we use our fingers to open that up and allow the air to relieve from the chest cavity. The needles we use currently, they about 80% of the time they may clog up or not work. So they found actually using your fingers more effective with that. So we're being trained on that this month. Also, we have Cleveland Clinic's 2026 protocol updates, both online and the lecture. That's this month. We have online training on extracorporeal CPR, which is actually using, so they use ECMO now. So a difficult CPR where somebody is not coming around, but has a potential, sometimes this happens in overdoses, where they will do a bypass, utilize bypass, and they call that ECMO, and utilize that to try and revive the patient. So we're going to be trained in that procedure and how we would handle that patient and transmit that patient to the hospital. And then lastly, on the training side, we have a new Stryker stair chair. We use this device to get patients out of usually the upstairs of a home or the other side of a home, basements, things like this. So it's actually powered, so we can now power the patient up the stairs. So they would be in a sitting position because it's very difficult to get our ambulance stretcher into the house. We use this chair then to remove the patient from the house. And then the last thing.
Does that run on a track?
Yes, yep, good question. And it's powered now. Before we had to manually lift that, it was very difficult downstairs. Now this one has a track and is battery powered. Lastly, we have a retirement. Lieutenant Dave Tapp's retiring from Pepper Pike next month, and he's taking a full-time fire chief's job in Oakwood. We gave the written promotional yesterday, and our assessment centers will be conducted next week to replace that position.
All great stuff, Chief. I feel safer already.
I want to publicly express an appreciation to Dave. He's been a wonderful member of our department for
25 years.
25 years.
Wow.
And great guy. He may be the one you remember delivered the baby out on the highway.
Yes.
And this last year, and he'll be missed in the department. And I wish him personal good wishes for success in Oakland.
Thank you.
Chief, anything?
Just real quick, we'll be setting up a meeting with the Civil Service Commission soon and establishing a new list of candidates for our 20th officer hire. So hopefully it'll be done by summer, start in spring.
Follow up to Chief Frazier. You guys carry Narcan?
We do.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys do.
Yes.
You guys do?
Yeah.
Okay.
We turn to my report to council then. I have a number of things I wanted to go over with you briefly. Basically since this is our first meeting, to set the table a bit as to many of the projects, particularly so our new members are up to speed as to a lot of things that are carrying forward from prior year, and also that may have stalled that we need to get underway and pay attention to this year. I've started the process of identifying someone to do a needs analysis of this complex so that we can proceed and go forward with our needs. I think we go to more and more meetings, it seems, where we are at or exceeding capacity, where we see people out in the hallways, and we need to move along. We need to get this thing identified with council's support last year. I hope this council continues to support it. Part of that needs analysis encompassing the upstairs of this building as to what potentials that presents. I'm not doing the analysis, so I'm not gonna predict where things end up or, what it all looks like. But just to let you know, that is underway.
Have you found some specialist firms who focus on that kind of stuff?
Working on it.
Okay.
As part of that consideration, one thing I will, forecast is we need, as part of that study, can or can we not accommodate community space within this building by, particularly if we have the second floor now available to maybe move and, redistribute the workflow now in the building. Does that open up any significant space in this building someplace where we could actually have a functional community gathering area? It's not going to be some giant auditorium, obviously. And there are some other things in the area that I am not privileged to go into that may also present opportunities. So we're working on that whole issue. In the meanwhile, since all this is going to take some time, you good people who are sitting there with maybe not the greatest level of comfort, we are going to be getting new chairs. We are going to do it. I was sitting in and checking some out today.
All right.
We will.
Council
We'll be proceeding with that. It shouldn't be an act of physical courage to come to a council meeting and sit in those chairs. I'm looking forward this year to the communications committee getting underway quickly. We are looking at our upgrades of capabilities, both here in the chambers, as well as our streaming capabilities, et cetera. And we'll be continuing to pursue and build upon those things that were discussed last year. We have a lot of new projects that are underway in this year. We have the Gates Mills Boulevard Trail extension from Lander to Cedar Road, which Mr. Shee has made some distance on his design of that. We'll be getting MKSK involved. We're which I am sort of assuming this council will continue to support them being involved in the second phase, just as they accomplished the first phase so successfully for us. So we'll get a proposal from them in front of you guys so far as doing the work necessary for the second phase. We are moving, we need to move ahead, obviously, on some portions, at a minimum, of the pedestrian trail program, otherwise known as trail sidewalks. Their locations still to be determined by this council, probably with input from our infrastructure committee. Likely, well, it's still an open tableau as to where and how many we're going to do. There were suggestions last year brought forward by Mr. Shi, and that's what this council needs to consider and move forward with. We have the Belgrave Sanitary Sewer Project slated for this year. We have the Pepper Ridge Water Main Project that'll be getting accomplished this year. We will also be looking at whether the remaining streets, I think there are 2 others after we take care of Pepper Ridge, which still do not have water lines. They use well water. And we need to engage with those residents to see if they will support that, because this becomes something that is charged back to residents.
It's an assessment.
It's an assessment for them. So
That's
we have to talk to those
ensure the fire
residents.
department can put in fire hydrants, right?
Right, they can put in fire hydrants.
Well,
It does not seem to be as much of a, just so council knows, these 2 remaining streets, the chief has some confidence that it is not the same sort of safety issue that he felt existed with the Pepper Ridge water line problem. So there's some discretion that these streets have to make. It's better if they have water lines and hydrants, and maybe some of those residents actually would like to tap into the clean water of Cleveland Water instead of using their wells. So that's something we'll be looking at this year. We have a Trillium Trail water main replacement project coming along, which will also involve the repaving of Trillium Trail as part of our streets program, which leads us into the various resurfacings and pavement maintenance programs for our streets that we'll be bringing forward pretty soon. I've already reached out to help try to coordinate a future project for Cedar Road. If you recall from last year's discussion, that involves Mayfield Heights because they have half the road. So it's not simply our call as to what we're doing there. We're going to see a variety of street improvements happening this year. Don and I, at the end of last year, met with representatives of the Sterling Lake subdivision and had what I thought was a very positive engagement with them so far as trying to see what could satisfy some of their apprehensions regarding the Sterling Lakes Drive, New Brainerd intersection. We did a very significant traffic study there. The residents, interestingly, engaged their own engineer and street study, which basically agreed with the conclusions of the study that Don led. So I think that helped to put us all on the same page as to what was possible and not possible at that intersection. But we want to work with those residents as closely as we can to, make a challenging situation for some of them better. And that may involve things like not only some signage issues on our part, but maybe some crosswalks, just to help people get across the street and whatever noticing for traffic that involves, so far as people being aware, oh, there are human beings who live here. It's not simply a pass through to get to Starbucks. So that's underway. We're going design for 2026 we'll be looking at, probably not construction until 27. We have the Lander Road Pump Station. That's the one that involves Regional Sewer District and the Ursuline College property, and taking offline their water treatment facility that the college actually operates. And this will greatly improve water quality in the streams that are fed from around there. This should be a big bonus for our community as well as that very important member of our community, the college. In the southwest quadrant at South Woodland, Lanark, there's a pump station there, I guess. Don, you're designing that?
Sanitary sewer and pump station.
Okay. And we'll have our typical, I never want to call them typical, because they're noteworthy. Our 2026 events will have our Memorial Day commemoration. I'm hoping that our retired Marine General resident will be addressing our public there. We will have our Juneteenth celebration that we do in collaboration with Ursuline College. We'll have Taste of Pepper Pike, the Ice Cream Social, the Harvest Fest, movies, the music. This year, we're going to expand our offerings. It's been several years since. We don't do it every year, but I think it's timely. It hasn't been since pre-pandemic. We're going to have a health fair this spring, and that should be in the late spring. I think Rachel actually and I put a date on, but I don't know. It's late spring that's going to occur. So there's a lot that's going to be going on in Pepper Pike this year. And I just want to make sure the council and our engaged public were aware of all these many, some very large projects that are underway for this year. And with that, I'll turn it over to council. Any comments that you have or things you want to bring up tonight? For the new members, this is the part of the meeting where
We postponed a presentation by the Human Resources Department
I'm
last
sorry,
year.
I couldn't understand.
I'm sorry, we postponed a report from the Human Resources Department last year, if you recall.
Oh, we'll get that on.
We had a meeting where,
Yes, I'll get that on.
yeah, so
Okay, thanks for the reminder.
I'd like to say something. Look, I'm excited you shared those projects, Mayor. That's very exciting. I think, being this the January of the new year, it's a good time to shape what else the city could be doing as well. Maybe there's some gaps. Maybe it's not for this year, maybe it's for next year. I also think, coming off an election, there could be a big contingent of people excited, right, with some of the new council members and them having a louder voice. At the same time, there could be people out there that maybe didn't vote for all of us, that might be nervous or not wanting to express it or feeling something in between. So I want to challenge us, and starting with me, to be responsive to all residents. And I have some ideas of how to put that into practice with the process. And I'd love to put that on the agenda for the next council meeting, what that could look like.
Okay.
Thank you.
Will do.
Can we talk about timing of meetings, potentially pushing them a little earlier?
I would support that.
Great. I mean, I don't know what everyone's, capacity schedules are. I mean, I think it would be, for me, easy to push it to 7:30, if not 6:30. I mean, I know the school board meets at 6. I think that might be a little too early, just people have to get home from work and stuff, but I would love to hear everyone's thoughts.
I would love to go earlier. I'm good with 6:30.
I also think we used to have it on the second, or third and fourth week, right, of the month on Wednesdays. We should entertain that as well.
That would actually open up a bigger segment of the calendar than this skipping week business. We found that would be good for our directors if we did make that move again.
the spacing of the meetings gave more meeting substance, because the second meeting after a lot of the stuff was done, and then it got pushed to the next meeting, so I kind of like the 2-week break between meetings, it gets more on the calendar and more substantive, rather than having a meeting right after a meeting. That's what I
My
found.
thinking was that everything would be like really fresh and you'd like get maybe a little more momentum if they're closer together. But you haven't experienced that?
It also means that more business can be done because there's a big gap between the fourth and then the third. So that period of time, nothing gets done. And if you have them spaced out this way, there's basically a meeting almost every other week. And I think it's better for getting business done. Might be a little bit more of a burden on us, but I think that it's better for getting business done throughout the month rather than just concentrated during that one little period.
I did, so I had a year with back-to-back and then a year every other, and just my personal experience, I did find it nice to have them spread out. And I understand the argument of, if you have them closer together, that sort of frees up more of the month to fit other things in, personally. But I also feel like it's not the end of the world if some people need to miss a meeting now and then. So, just that sort of whole if you need to take like a chunk of time off or whatever, I did find it, I personally like every other week setup. I would like an earlier meeting. I think everyone in this room might like the opportunity to be done earlier.
The other week also gives us more time to think about things. So if you get a proposal on one week and suddenly it's up the next week, the extra week you can have more time to think about it, research it, do what you need to do.
Phone calls and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know, isn't that just kind of like, you're gonna use up as much time as you have. So if it was like one a month, you're gonna use all that time. So that's why I'm kind of thinking like, we could maybe move rapidly if it were back to back as well. I mean, as rapidly as it's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of good either way on the date, but the thing with the back-to-back, I mean, how many ordinances do we do a year? 25 or 26? And like half of those are the budget and other stuff that are must-dos. There's not a lot of new laws that we're building. So, because my thought process was go to one voting meeting a month and go to one work session a month where the citizens interact on issues. We don't have to vote on anything. So and you could do that one back to back. The first week would be, the week 3 would be a work session. You're definitely not voting on anything. Everything gets voted on the week of the 4th. But you open the meeting up so that when I was sitting in the cheap seats, going, I want to talk about this, and then, it's already voted on, and I don't get a chance to really talk about it until, horses out of the barn. So that's where I would prefer to go. But I definitely would like to see a 6:30-ish start.
So I feel like that sort of model would force, sort of thinking about the meetings not as discrete events, but as pairs, right? Like it's like you have like basically 12 meetings a year, because the first one, you raise all the issues, you talk about them. I love the idea of letting the audience participate prior to a vote, because I agree with you, that was super frustrating to sit in the audience and be like, I have big opinions here that's too late. And then, but I don't know, I'd be interested in the mayor's perspective on how you think that would fit into the flow of your work. Because I do think that maybe involves, I would imagine it would involve a little more planning up front, because you're like, okay, this month, what are we talking about? Not this meeting, what we're talking about, right?
Well, there are a lot of things that we come to vote on, as council's aware, that are somewhat, I don't want to call them perfunctory, but they're regular. They're things that come up and I think those things can be fairly addressed and voted upon whenever we meet together. I don't think simply because it's designated as a work session that those things can't be addressed, taken care of, and moved on with. Sometimes they're timely. One of the things that this city did very successfully for a lot of years was and I think we were proud of ourselves for it, is that we were nimble and that we could, get something up on the docket, on the table, take a look at it and deal with it. And I think that was to our benefit, that we could do it that way. Some things require more deliberation, certainly, and a lot of stuff before you can get it up on the table. Mr. LeMay has something that he put forward last year. I think it's not gone with the wind. It still has to be, dealt with during the course of this year. And, so some things just take time before they're ready to be voted on. So far as the third and fourth issue versus the week in between issue, personally, I prefer the third and fourth issue. I think it's beneficial for our staff and their plans, because I know council gains an advantage of having them here to address questions that come up. They don't like to miss meetings, and it becomes inhibiting with their schedules to have this thing be always, with the one week, 10 days in between. It can get a little tight for them so far as their own life scheduling. I think we operated for basically until last year very successfully with the third and fourth schedule. I don't think it was really an issue for council. There are advantages certainly to having the gapping, but like a few years ago when we had the the splash pad, we brought it up and council wanted some questions answered, and boom, in 1 week, our staff put together answers for you and did some pretty good research to address answers the following week. Then if it wasn't ready or satisfactory, then you skip it. I don't know. I'm inclined to, personally, I would support the third and fourth issue as opposed to maintaining the current initiative.
I would support
Those
the
are my
third and
thoughts.
fourth if we took the third week meeting to go back to a format such as a work session to get more involvement from the audience
Yeah.
up front.
Yeah, I'm even thinking, and I'll throw this out to council, so we'll distract it from the exact topic we're talking about. I'm thinking that maybe we should advance audience comments to the front end of the meeting
Absolutely.
instead of having it on the tail end of the meeting. I think it's important that we
That-
have good, I go to a lot of public meetings, people sign in, say, I have a comment. And you want to make their comment, we may have to limit it with time at that point, because it's going to be, we have a whole meeting that's still to get to.
So you could do
It's not
that.
going to be as, maybe,
You could do that without calling it a work session, because now they see the agenda and they can make comments on the
Right.
agenda before.
right, I would
We
want to
actually-
limit it based primarily to the agenda, unless it was some exigent thing that
Sure.
required.
But I think that's the key point, right? What is on the agenda? That's what drives the productivity of the meeting, whether
Absolutely.
it's the fourth of the month, fourth week, or
The third week.
so. I think we're arguing about the wrong thing, whether it's the right week or getting what's content rich.
Yeah, the agenda is, as you know, the agenda is really established. I don't want to say it's set, it's established more so by our department heads.
Yeah.
They have issues that need to get addressed, and they push these things up to the surface and inform Sheila, oh, I have to sell some trucks. I didn't know we had to sell some trucks. Jim Advent knew we had to sell some trucks. And that's how these agendas, for items like that, get generated. Council wants something on an agenda, Mr. Modi wanted something next week, okay, fine. That's gonna be on the agenda. That's the way the agendas work. I don't want anyone to think There's no gatekeeper so far as, we need something on an agenda, we're gonna put it on an agenda. That's the way it's been for now going to the 15th year that I've been sitting in this chair. It's gonna continue that way. So,
Yeah, I don't have a big axe to grind on the cadence of the meetings. I mean, if you think that the, you know, everyone that has to be here outside of council would prefer that, like, I'm fine to defer to that.
One point, as a point of history here, that we had the structure of work session on the third Wednesday and action meeting on the fourth. It got to the point where there were actions that needed to be taken on the third. And so there was frequently called a special meeting to take
So
action
you
on.
split it up to a special meeting and a work session. at the
Well,
same
there
time.
was less formality to it.
Right.
You could do it more formally that way, and to emphasize that this is the portion of the meeting that there's gonna be broad
Okay.
discussion with the audience, and then here are the action items that we really need done on the third Wednesday. And council would have the authority to change that.
Yeah, I think for speed and nimbleness, we still have to return. I think it evolved that way
Yeah.
because of the need to get stuff done.
Right.
And, yeah.
But if the preference of council is to treat the third as, unless there's something urgent, it's gonna be a discussion meeting, you certainly can do that.
We can do both though, right?
yeah, we can do them both. It's simply how do you capture the thing on the agenda, basically.
So does anybody have objections? Let's break it to 6:30 start times.
I would love that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we move council meetings, whatever dates we're gonna use in the future, start time at 6:30.
It happens that your regular meetings are set by ordinance, so we'd need an ordinance to amend section 220.01A. This currently says second and fourth Tuesdays at 7:30. You're suggesting this it'll be the third and the fourth Wednesdays of each month at 6:30.
I'll make that motion,
Got
yes.
Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesdays,
Starting February.
starting February.
Let's
Vote on
do
it
that.
next
Well,
meeting.
You could enact it the next meeting, or you could cancel the next meeting on the Tuesday and schedule a special meeting on Wednesday. So you can start the practice, just, these are options. How you want to do it.
Wednesdays are so much better.
Just get it done.
This is for council, this is
Yeah.
for council to decide.
Yeah,
Oh, Jackie asked me what
I said.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking to you.
Okay.
I didn't even know you were talking.
the question is, do you want the next meeting to be on the 2 weeks from now on a Tuesday?
Just keep it the same and then February.
Starting with
switch
February. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that's a good
So
idea.
February,
Effective February 1st
Yes.
was when the ordinance will go.
First and third week?
Third and fourth.
Third and
Third and
fourth.
Third and fourth Wednesday in February.
6:30.
From on out, starting at 6:30.
Why the switch to Wednesday? I don't have a strong preference, I'm just curious why.
That's what they've done before.
I can't be here on the third Wednesday. So if you're gonna
You mean
do
the
third and
third
fourth,
Tuesday.
third Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay.
So that's why, I think that was before based on.
And that's why we moved to
I was
Tuesdays, is
just
I
curious
can't
why
do
the
that.
one day switch.
Okay.
And Orange Village does the first and second Wednesday, so third and fourth Wednesdays are available.
All right. So I think that's the motion.
Yeah, that's good.
So Feb 18th and 25th, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything more from council?
Did you vote?
Do we have to vote? We should vote.
Did you go
Made a
ahead and
motion.
we had a motion and a second.
Yeah.
to set have legislation drafted to change the ordinance? Yeah, well,
We already had a budget.
Okay, so vote on the motion.
Okay. Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Modi?
Hold on, I'm just looking at the calendar.
Okay.
So hold on, let me ask a question. If there's a month where we need to change it because there's a spring break, for example,
We can always change
we
it.
can still change,
Yes.
then yes.
Ms. Nodick? Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Gentile? Colonel Russ?
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking that the 6:30 time might be most challenging for people with very young children, so.
We'd
Go
love it.
for it. I would love to.
She'll get them home safe.
Got enough of that.
Sorry, hon.
You love that part. You do that tonight.
So one thing where I'm still,
Still on council comments, right?
Still on council.
I'm still confused, so your suggestion about the audience comments,
Yes,
which I really like, do we do an ordinance on that?
no, that's just,
The mayor puts the agenda together, and I thought you may want to consider, other communities that do this have people speaking to items on the agenda before the agenda are acted upon.
Yes.
And if they have a conversation, if they want to have
A new item.
a new item
That's
that's not on the agenda, you do it at the end.
at the end.
I'm totally good with that.
I'm good with
That's a
that.
great way to do it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But that gives you two public portions.
Yes.
I mean, my main goal is to let residents speak before we actually vote on issues.
Right.
Talk to
Yeah.
the issues.
yeah, I think it's really sometimes awkward for us.
Yeah,
We're voting on something, and at the end,
you get shot in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
That is poor choice of words right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
all right, we'll do that. All right, did we finish the vote?
Yes, yes.
Anyone else on council?
One question, so the Gates Mills Boulevard water main break that happened a couple weeks ago, are we gonna have, it was posted, are we gonna have a bill on that, or do we have, is that just the water district, is that the sewer district, is the city
I haven't
involved?
even seen it all, no. We have a door?
I don't think there was any additional damage. I think it's all that was in the tree line.
Okay, good to go.
There's no road repair.
There's no road
Yeah.
repair.
All right,
But I mean, there might, something might clean up over there so that we get the spring. As it's
yeah, gotcha.
Good question. Anything else? All right, any audience comments?
Yes. Richard Ferguson, 29200 Itzdale Road. Talking about the architectural review board.
Yes,
Being retired, I've been able to attend the last 8-9 months. We meet twice a month. So I've made 15 to 18 of the meetings. They're very professional, they're very civil. The chairman is a voting member and architect. The 2 residents vote. The 2 other architects do not vote. And very seldom is there any discourse, but every so often, maybe 1-2% of the time, some people get really emotional, very irate. And the board is very civil, very gentlemanly. They don't yell back, they don't denigrate. They communicate, try to settle the situation down. The people that get upset are either homeowners who have this vision of what they want to do and are upset when it's blocked, or builder developers who have a lot of money tied up and any delay costs them money, so sometimes they get upset. And then the other thing that handcuffs them a little bit is like with the solar panels. Since the city doesn't have, the council hasn't come up with any code, they're kind of handicapped on what they can do. So, in general, they do a very good job, and the members are all, the 2 architects that don't vote, they're also on like Gates Mills, Chagrin Falls, AB Arts too, so very experienced, very, all practicing architects.
thank you very much for that. That was very helpful to hear that comment from someone who was gone to 8 months worth of. That was really helpful to hear that. And you also reminded, and everyone should understand, I didn't mention it, solar, we're gonna deal with solar panels, up or down, right or left. We're gonna deal with that and get it resolved so that we don't have an ABR, figuring it out for themselves. It deserves direction from this council as to how to handle that issue. So we will put that on the list for 2026 issues we have to deal with.
Oh, one more comment. to add, when you listed projects coming up, the gas line replacement on New Brainerd this summer.
You're right, I left that out. Anyone else?
Bruce Rinkert, 30949 Pine Tree. A question, you're talking about the agenda changes. When do you post the agenda?
Fridays.
And that's
The Friday
this
before
page
the
or
meeting.
on the council page?
Yeah, it's usually, right on the front, on the
Okay,
calendar.
so people have plenty of opportunity to
Yes.
look at it in advance.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
Gerard Bartasavage, Shaker Boulevard. For someone who's coming here for, this will be going on our 26th year attending these council meetings. I like the idea of residents' comments before and residents after. I think it really engages the community and making feel they're a part of the process. I want to congratulate the new council members and the existing council members, and hopefully we'll have a very productive year for Pepper Pike. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? All right. That said, our work is not done. We have another executive session.
Oh, my.
And I'm going to ask everyone to leave, and I will ask for a motion. I gotta read the motion. To enter into an executive session pursuant to section 121.22 of the revised code to discuss details relative to the security arrangements and emergency response protocols for a public body or public office. Because disclosure could reasonably be expected to jeopardize the security of the public body. So, someone have a motion for that? Roll call.
Ms. Swords? Yes. Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Moody?
Yes.
Ms. Bowden? Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Colonel Rice?
Yes.
All right, this should be relatively short, guys.